Hello, my name is Karen Bretz and I work for a cookery school called howtoboilwater.com and we're based in Berkhamsted, Hertfordshire. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious recipe. Today I'm going to show you how to make empanadas. Empanadas are like Cornish pasties, mini Cornish pasties, Mexican style. Traditionally they were filled with a sweet filling, sugar and fruit, but today they're more commonly filled with a savoury filling. And we are going to make one with chorizo, cumin and potato. So first of all we're going to stir fry our chopped pepper, onion and chorizo in a pan with some hot oil. Let the chorizo cook gently for about 5 or 10 minutes until some of the nice red chili oil comes out of the chorizo. Finally, we're going to add in our chopped garlic, chopped chili and cooked potato. Stir that all round. Give the potatoes a nice little mash whilst it's cooking. And once the mixture is all nicely combined, add in your last ingredient, ground cumin, which is a nice spice to the dish. And leave that to cook. We now have our lovely cooked potato and chorizo mix, and we're going to stir in some grated cheese. And mix that nicely together, ready to use as a filling in our empanadas. The mixture has cooled nicely and will be ready to put into the filling as soon as we've rolled out and cut the pastry. This is our puff pastry. You can either buy it ready-made or make your own, but most of us like to buy it ready-made. It makes this a little bit quicker. Roll it out on a floured table and then get a cutter and cut out circles. It doesn't really matter what size you use, it's personal taste. I like a 2-inch cutter because they're going to be folded in half and then fit quite nicely in the hand. What you do is you get a beaten egg. You lightly brush your circles with beaten egg. Just pull away the pastry that you're not going to need, and it just makes it a little easier to see what you're doing. Don't be afraid to hold the pastry. It doesn't crumble in your hands like a short crust pastry would. It's quite durable. Right, then you get a teaspoon of your filling and you put it on half the side of your pastry circle. Don't be tempted to overfill your chorizos. It's a bit like mince pies. Too much filling and they'll just pop open. What you do is you take your circle and you fold it over, being quite firm, pushing the filling into the centre. Push the edges of your pastry together. You don't have to worry too much at the moment how it's looking. It's important you're positive with what you're doing so that the pastry seals together nicely. Get the back of a blade of a knife and just gently, with the crescent in your hand, knock back the edges to make sure they're nicely sealed. It is important that the edges are sealed, otherwise they will burst open. Then get the back of your fork and carefully push the pastry down. Be careful not to go through the layer of pastry. You're just wanting to, again, seal the little parcels up and make a pretty edge. And finally, what you want to do with your fork is just go in the centre and put a couple of little fork holes in, just to let any steam escape so that the pastry is nice and crisp. Then all you do is get your baking tray, make sure it's oiled and pop your pastry empanadas on a baking tray, leaving a little space between each one. They will expand a little and then they're ready to go into a hot oven. This recipe should make about 20 empanadas, but of course it depends on the size that you make them. Our empanadas are now ready to come out of the oven. As you can see, they're nice and puffed and risen. I like mine with sort of matte finish, but if you like a nice shiny one, then before you put them in the oven, brush them with some beaten egg. And then just remove them. And put them on a nice pretty dish. Allow a few minutes before you serve them to your friends and family, because otherwise they're a little hot. And here we have how to make empanadas.